All right. So for this upcoming lab on on module 3, you're going to have to make a chart. But before you make a chart, you're going to need 4 pieces of information: the mean, the standard deviation, the SEM, and the 95% CL. Now, each of these different things are going to go into the chart. The mean is going to make up the main part of the bar graph, and the 95% CL is going to give you your error bars. Now, how does any of this apply? Well, all these numbers here is your lab data. How to get this lab data, you're going to go through the lab, you're going to get it pretty easily. But first things first, you need to calculate mean. To calculate mean, hit equals average, double click on that, highlight all these boxes, and then hit enter. Boom, there's your mean. All right, let's run through that again. So hit equals, type average. Now you're going to have to do this on Excel. I have found that Google Sheets is not working properly when it comes to making the graph, so you might be able to get it to work through pretty much the same means. Either way, the calculations are the same in both cases. So just hit equals, type average, double click on this when it pops up, and then you just highlight all these things. It'll count all these numbers. You hit enter. And remember, you can do the exact same thing on Google Sheets, but I'm using Excel because I was having problems with Google Sheets. Standard deviation. To do standard deviation work, we are going to follow this formula up here. So just hit equals STD, right? And for everybody on Google Sheets, you can just click equals STDEV and it'll pop up and you can finish it. But for us, we have to double click on this, highlight all these numbers, not the mean. Do not highlight the mean, just the 10 numbers up here, and then you hit enter. Same thing over here, equals STDEV. Now, as you may notice, there's a .p and a .s. Don't do either of these. You just want to do the regular one. Highlight everything except for the mean, and then hit enter. Also, make sure you have the correct titles on your columns. This will make it easier to make the graph. Now for the SEM, what you're going to want to do is equals. We're going to follow, sorry. We are going to follow this formula up here. So you're going to hit equals STDEV. This time you want to use the .s version, right? Highlight everything except for the mean and the standard deviation, right? Make sure they're all in the same column, by the way. Close parentheses, divide, SQRT, that'll do a square root function, right? Now, once you have this in, don't type anything other than count, C-O-U-N-T. Something will pop up, double click on count, and then highlight all these boxes again. Close parentheses, enter. Now let's run through that again. Equals STDEV dot S. Highlight all the numbers you want, so not the mean and not the standard deviation. Close parentheses, divide, SQRT, COUNT to count. There we go. And then highlight all these numbers. Now for me, I have to double click on all that stuff. So if you see me like pause there, I'm just trying to double click and not screw things up. And then once that formula is done, hit enter. Now for the 95% CL, hit equals to asterisk to do multiply, and then click on the SEM of the corresponding column, and then hit enter. Same thing here. Ta-da, now we're done. I went through that a bit fast, so let's run through that again. Equals to asterisk, and then click on this box, and then hit enter. Boom, now you have all the information necessary to plug into your chart. Now, when you're doing the lab, it's gonna ask for each of these things individually. If you wanna just plug them in individually, just copy this, paste it. You can copy straight from the box. It won't just throw in the formula. It'll actually throw in the number, and it'll automatically round the number as well. So then you can continue on your lab. Now, eventually you'll hit the part where you need to make a graph. Do not use the graph from the lab. She doesn't want the graph from the lab. Use the graph that I'm about to show you how to make. To make this graph, start by highlighting the title of each column and the mean. Now, how do I highlight 4 boxes that are pretty far away from each other? Simple. I hold down the control key. I click, oh, whoops, hang on. Hold down the control key, and then click, and click. Now there's 4 highlighted. You can't see the last one because I still have this selected, right? Now that you have all 4 highlighted, remember it's hold down control, and then click. Oh, dang it, I misclicked. Click, and click. Now I have all 4. Now I have the 4 boxes I want, the 2 titles and the mean. Now what I want to do is click on Insert, grab my graph, and grab my clustered column graph. For people doing it on Google Sheets, there is no clustered column graph. Just do a basic column graph. But it'll give me this with all my correct values on this axis and my titles on this axis, and the bars are the means. Now, the next big thing you need is error bars. And here's where I say, do this on Excel, because Excel makes this part super easy, right? When you're on Excel, you want to find, and if you click off of the chart, you'll be at home, right? Go to chart design, make sure you're on chart design, click the down arrow and add chart element. Then you want to go to error bars, more error bar options. It'll start you on the paint bucket. What you want to do is go to these options, click custom, specify value, and it'll give you these 2 things. What you want to do is backspace, make sure that's blank. Then you want to click on this, hit the comma, and then click on the other one, right? Let's do that again. Make sure it's blank. Click on this one, hit the comma, and then click on this one. Now for the negative, you do the same thing. Click on the correct, click on the iron clay one first. Always do the left one first. Then you click on the iron clay one, comma, and then click on this one. Now, if you're confused on what I mean by iron clay, you will understand once you do the lab. But once you do that, and you hit OK, boom, your error bars are done and are correct. So now all you have to do is edit your chart title. Now, you don't have to do the same chart title I did, but I just did average hind limb length of iron clay versus experimental lizards, right? But you still do need a proper axis title for your vertical and horizontal axis. So if you're on Excel, like I'm telling you to do, just click on the down arrow for add chart element, make sure you're on chart design, axis titles, your horizontal title, you want to be lizard populations or lizard regions, something like that, whatever you want to title it. And then your vertical, you want to title hind limb length. Now you take this, Control C, copy it, paste it into your Google Slides, and you're done. Same thing on part 4. There's going to be a completely different chart that you're doing, but it's the same idea. You want to calculate the mean, calculate the standard deviation, calculate the SEM, calculate the 95% CL, and then do the chart again. So I'm going to rerun doing the chart, but this time with this set of data. And if you ever forget the formula, if you can either rewatch the part of the video, or if you click on the spot where you did the formula, it'll just tell you up here. Same thing on Google Sheets. It tells you close to the top. You got to look for it. So let's rerun how to make that graph. Hold Control, click, 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 click. Insert. I want my column chart. It's giving me the right numbers. It's giving me the right species. Now, also remember, I'm saying click, 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 click. That doesn't mean highlight. If you highlight it like this, it'll screw up your data. You want to click on each box individually. Got it? Great. So now I have all my means. What do I need to do next? I need my, make sure you're on chart design, click the down arrow, go to error bars, more error bar options. Make sure you're not on the paint bucket, custom, specify, make sure that box is blank, go to here, do my left column first, comma, my right column, same thing on my negative value, do my left column, comma, my right column, and then hit OK. That'll fix my error bars. And then I just add my chart titles. Do my vertical one here first. This one, it's a, what is it? Dewlap color. You'll understand what that means when you do the lab. And here it is, what is this? Species. And then your chart title it whatever you want. But that's it. That's how you do these charts. All right. That's it from me. I hope y'all are going to have fun with this. Johnny.